Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, deaths, stars, peasants, vassals. I'm a useful idiot. Today I want to talk about the fact that Q&E, as promised, will go on forever. As it turns out, the talk about tapering off the quantitative easing program of the Fed sometime this summer quickly evaporated, just as predicted. And the story goes that debate among Federal Reserve policymakers is shifting away from the timing of a reduction in bond buying to the need to extend record stimulus. That's right. As we guessed already, Q&E wasn't going to start tapering off. It's going to increase. And that's because it can never end. The interest rates can never go up. And interestingly, there's a quote that a Fed official said, quote, "Some of the more recent developments, the slowdown in the economy, the somewhat disquieting inflation data, has taken a tapering off the table." So the tapering off is off the table because there's a slowdown in the economy, which is interesting because all the headlines, of course, say that the economy is speeding up. The Fed admits that the economy is still slowing down, and at least they admitted that there was some inflation. And my favorite quote is one Fed economist said that, quote, "It's going to be full throttle until the end of this year." And what they're saying now is that ultimately they're talking now about maybe ending the program sometime in 2014. So as vague as possible, which basically means Q&E will go on and on and on. Q&E being buying $85 billion in bonds and $40 billion in mortgage-backed securities every single month, with a Fed balance sheet of $3.3 trillion. And Mr. Dudley of the New York Fed said, quote, gains of the program so far have exceeded expectations. And I don't really see that. They're trying to stoke growth by reducing the cost of home loans, as if the entire economic recovery depends on the reinflation of the housing bubble. And there's some truth to that in a way, because the banks have never taken their, or at least taken most of their losses on real estate. And if they can just reinflate it, then they'll never have to write it down. And that's what they're after. And I don't know how they could encourage people to get into homes anymore. The interest rate now for a 30-year fixed mortgage is 3.41%. At the beginning of Q&E3, it was at 3.55%. So a 0.1% budge in the interest rate going down for home loans is enough to justify buying $85 billion in bonds every month and $40 billion in mortgage-backed securities every month to get 0.1 in reduction in interest rates for home mortgages. And people still aren't really buying that much. And no surprise there. And so after the announcement of QE continuing, of course, there's gains in share prices and stock prices, and that's what they're really after. Just pump, 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 pump that market up, and hopefully everything else will go along with it. And this is just a travesty. And it will keep going on, and we can look at Japan as the model. And, of course, the leaders always say, we are not Japan, but no, we're the United States. We're going to have our own brand of ongoing decades and decades and decades of stimulus and Q&E. And, of course, Japan's been going at it for 30 years, and they just did their most robust, as they like to call it, quantitative easing program, massive money printing in Japan, even after 30 years Q&E and stimulus and trying to reinflate their bubbles. So we have much to look forward to. So anyway, just a heads up there, Q&E, as we already knew, is not going to end anytime soon. Not going to end in 2013, not going to end in the next couple of months, and it probably won't end next year either, or the year after that, or the year after that. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.